It's early morning on the Atlantic island of Madeira, and a giant German cruise liner is reversing slowly into port. Aboard the AIDA are more than 1,000 holidaymakers preparing for a day on the island. Where they go, for how long, and why are important questions for the island's tourist board. But how should that information be collected? The tourist board already has Wi-Fi hotspots dotted around the island, which give a general impression of where people go and for how long. But data from Wi-Fi hotspots does not provide answers to some of the tourist industry's most pressing questions. Why did the tourists choose a certain place to visit, and what did they make of the experience? "1,500 miles away, in the slightly less sun-kissed surroundings of London, a team of computer scientists at UCL was also grappling with how to add qualitative research to their understanding of human behaviour.
We're very interested in how we can involve the general public in making sense of data that's collected about the environment. So it's very easy to collect data, it's much harder to interpret and understand what's going on. So we started talking about our project called Romeo. Nuno, who runs the group at MiTi, had been working with the tourist board in Madeira, which is an island that has a population of 250,000, but well over 1 million people come to visit the island as tourists, and they come in cruise ships and to the airport. And they're very interested in the ecosystem of the island, because clearly if all of the tourists, all these millions of people go to the same place, it's going to have an impact. But what they found is that they don't really know why there are peaks at certain places at certain times. And so we suggested that we would bring Romeo along, and that people could come along and try and interpret the data that was being collected and make some suggestions about things, and also to give other information so that we could build a richer picture.
For a week in August 2016, Romeo was deployed in the main tourist office in Funchal.
UCL is one of the major world capitals in London, and Madeira is one of the ultra-peripheral regions of Europe. So and it's situated in the middle of the ocean, of the Atlantic Ocean. And so this creates, what you have in the ocean is, for instance, animals, biodiversity, which is a big plus of Madeira. So what we want to do is kind of combine these two things, you know, bring the expertise of a world-class institution like UCL, and in particular UCLIC and the group of Ivan Rogers, to Madeira to try and use their expertise in tackling new phenomena and looking at things in a different way, which you don't find in London, but you find here in Madeira.
What we found is that about 10% of all passers-by actually interacted with the Romeo installation, and that the majority of data that was contributed by people was in fact contributed by people who interacted with the installation for 1 to 5 minutes. So that means that people would actually spend quite a lot of time to go through the questions and then actually try to answer them to the best of their abilities. And we even saw some outliers where people would spend up to 20 minutes interacting with the system to actually go through all the possible questions that were in the Romeo system. I think it's actually really valuable because the data that's being produced by these kind of sensor networks just produce raw numbers that don't really tell you a lot about what's happening in that space. And through these kind of qualitative contributions from the public at large, we can actually build up a richer picture of what people actually perceive to be happening in certain spaces.
We're trying to combine what we're calling hard sensing with soft sensing. That's what we think is different from other ways of eliciting information or sensing data. It tries to combine what humans can do in terms of interpreting it and what we can do with automatic systems which just sense the data. I think the next steps are that Madeira are really keen to have a family of Romeos and to think about how they could use it in different contexts and for a much longer period of time, so in different parts of the island, and to think about the ecology and what's going on there. And also we're interested in taking it to different bits of London, particularly the Olympic Park. We're interested in how people might be able to give more information and find out more about what's going on in the park.
As 2016 demonstrated, human behaviour can be unpredictable. Polling experts can be wrong, the consensus can be turned on its head. By combining hard data with soft human reality, hybrid sensing can provide a vital bridge between the two.